changed her name to become a star.
A young singer called Helen Barnes has really been getting the star treatment in Plymouth this week. Receptions, press articles, radio and television interviews. None of her friends in Plymouth have been surprised, even though they know her better as Helen McDermott, the daughter of a city hotelier. She's always dreamed of a career in show business, and now with all the fuss that surrounds the launching of a new record, and we hope a new star, she's well on her way.
You get 1 out of 10 for trying. You get 9 out of 10 for lying. There's 5 for how things used to be, and not for being true to me. You get 1 out of 10 for kindness. You get 9 out of 10 for blindness. There's 5 for how things used to be, and not for being true to me. 11 out of 10 for getting through to me, and then 11 out of 10 you made a fool of me again. 11 out of 10, I was sure you loved me when 11 out of 10.
It's a delightful song. Tell me a bit about it. Did you write it yourself?
No, unfortunately I didn't. It was written by Paul Cole and Sam Leno. Paul wrote the lyrics and Sam the music.
Terribly important, I would have thought, for someone like yourself to be absolutely in sympathy with the lyrics.
Yes, in fact they are very, very important. You have to try and believe them, I think.
Now, Plymouth girl, and a few months ago you made that big step to London. Why? Why did you go?
It certainly was a big step actually, but it's a shame really that I did have to leave. But there's just no opportunity to do it here. There are studios, but they can't cater for large orchestras or the sort of thing that we wanted to do. So it was necessary to make that break.
You were singing locally in the West Country for some time. How easy was it for you to persuade people in London that you were a girl who had something?
Well, it was really one of those chance things, sort of a once-in-a-lifetime thing, you might say. I was singing in a club in Plymouth, and I had a friend here who happened to be a freelance director and used to hear me sing occasionally. And 2 years later, he returned to Plymouth and offered to produce and hopefully sell a record for me. And that was literally how it happened. It was just out of the blue.
So what happens for you next? I mean, if this record is a success, are there other songs, other things you want to do?
Yes, in fact, we've got 3 records lined up for release after this one. So if nothing very exciting happens to 11 out of 10, then we'll go ahead and release another one. And I hope that amongst the others we've made, we'll get a hit.
It's odd, isn't it, how people often find themselves in life not doing the things they originally set out to do. You wanted, I gather, originally to be a ballet dancer.
Yes, I really did, yes. Unfortunately, I was too short and too wrong to be a ballet dancer, so they advised me at school to take up singing and acting, which upset me terribly at the time, but there you are.
But may lead to great things.
Well, hopefully, you never know.
We hope so too, Helen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As always, putting her case. We're going to take the heat out of that seat now. We're going to ask a young lady to take that seat. And her name, she was once a treasure hunt hostess, Helen Barnes. Now, that is a name perhaps doesn't ring an immediate bell to you, but that's not surprising because her real name is Helen McDermott. She's just cut her first disc. It's launched today. Helen is back in her home city for the launch. Now, in a moment, we'll be talking to her. But first, let's hear the record. It's 11 out of 10 as she sang it at the actual recording in London.
You get 1 out of 10 for trying. You get 9 out of 10 for lying. There's 5 for how things used to be, and not for being true to me. I'll give you 2 out of 10. I'll give you 10 out of 10 for daring. There's 5 for how we started out, but we
Helen Barnes. That's a very strong record, that, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
You know, Helen, a lot of people looking in will think, well, you know, here you are, a West Country girl, cutting your first disc for a substantial label, big publicity launch. How did it happen for you?
Well, I was singing in a club in Plymouth, and I met a television director who heard me sing in the club. And he left for London, and 2 years later he came back, heard a tape of me singing, when I sang here, actually, first of all, on Westwood, and said that he would like to produce and promote a record, and that was really how it happened.
Well, it's an overnight success, and I'm delighted, Helen, that you could mention, because you made your first appearance on the diary.
I did.
You talked to that rather distinguished chap. What was his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
No, but you're an overnight success, and you've worked really very hard for a number of years, and you've really done the groundwork. How did you start in the business?
Well, it all began, really, with a doctor's advice to take up dancing, because I was born with a dislocated hip.
Maybe see it. Oh, no. You were born with a dislocated hip.
That's right, and he said to improve it, I should take up dancing, so I did. In fact, I wanted to be a ballet dancer, but I was too short and just not right to be a ballet dancer, so I took up singing and acting. I went to a stage school at 7 and stayed there for a number of years and got into it that way.
I also read in the publicity blurb about because you felt that for the ballet you didn't have the sense of dedication needed for it. Does that mean that you regard what you're doing now needs less dedication, less effort?
No, it's just that physically ballet dancing demands a tremendous amount, and I really just wasn't right for it. No, this does demand a lot as well, but it's in a different way.
I suppose you've had some pretty tricky audiences in your time, haven't you? You've played, what, South Africa and Middle East?
Yes.
Workington, have you played Workington?
I didn't go to Workington, no, but I think I went almost to everywhere else.
Well, I imagine one of the difficult things, Helen, everyone says, is finding the right material. I've got a good song for you, that is Don't Cry For Me, Buddy Saltram. I'll give you that later. But how did you get the material for this? How did you get this song, 11 out of 10?
Well, it was between myself and the producer and the record company, and we heard several records and listened to tapes of songs that were sent to us, and we picked it out of that.
You found with the earphones, did they sort of lay a separate track for that, or did you find it difficult, the technique of recording?
Yes, I did, actually, to begin with, because it really is far more complicated than it appears to be. What usually happens is that the musicians put the music down first of all, and then I hear it in my headphones in the afternoon and sing on top of that.
Helen Barnes, we wish you very well with that. I'm sure it's going to be a hit, and if it is in the charts, we want you to come back and do it for us in the studio, same fee.
I'll put you on to my agent.
Well, now, the future of our railways in the West Country, generally, and in Cornwall in particular, has been on lots of people's minds for many years.
Shipyard of Dredge and Marine at Penryn. The cooperative, which will involve the staff of more than 100 men, is to ask the government for financial support. Dredge and Marine have been run by a receiver since facing money problems last summer. Today, the co-op said they hope to bid for the company if current talks with a prospective buyer fail. The chairman of the co-op is John Barringer. He's also chairman of the shipyard's shop steward committee. With the Penryn Yard's work running out at the end of March, the men decided it would be unwise to wait any longer. Besides approaching the industry minister, the co-op will also lobby MPs for support. Two of West Cornwall's most famous hotels were being auctioned this afternoon in one of the largest sales the county has seen in many years. The hotels are the Ship and Castle and the Idle Rocks, both at St Mawes. They were being sold together with two